Yep. Okay, calling to order our council and committee meeting for August 26th at 6 p.m. So this is our welcome everyone from joining us from the public. This is our informal meeting. The regular council will follow when we're done this meeting. So we're going to start right away. I know, Toby, you're back there with tourism, events, and communications. So Toby Peary, if you want to pop up, and sorry, you can feel free to adjust that or push it closer forward. We're trying to we've tightened cord. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay. Good evening.
Elective call. Battery high.
Welcome to the kind of end of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But fall's going to be great. Of course, we've all talked about summer events and sort of thing, and they all went really well. We had a lot of people out. We've had a lot of visitors from different people who have talked to different people who have come to the community, taken in our events, and they loved every minute of it. So kudos to all the organizations and the volunteers who put all the hard work into everything that happens here in the summertime and all year round as well. Something exciting that we're going to working with the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to have a meeting this month, and we're going to try to plan out our holiday events so that everything is happening over a 6-week period and not everything is happening on a one Saturday. So we're inviting all organizations to come, or just send an email, say, yeah, listen, this is what we're doing. Add us to the calendar. So when you look at the calendar, you see that some stuff is spread out. So if you know of any organization that we may have forgotten, please just put me a little email and I'll make sure that we include them in our thing. Greg and I are going to meet later on this week to talk about the Trans-Canada Trail maintenance work in front of the Woodstock Farm and Craft Market. We received a grant from that organization. We're just going to kind of make it look a little pretty, take away some of the tree that's there, but also some of the stone, and line it up a little bit better and make it a little more accessible for people to walk out with some pressure bumps and that sort of thing. Always good to work with the Department of Tourism, Heritage and Culture to line them up with our different industries and to kind of help those people along, whether it comes to grant funding or how to get them profiled. And it's always good to have someone come out of Fredericton and actually come to our community and meet with the individuals. And of course, our wonderful 2026 budget, working on that. Our events obviously are going well. So there might be a little increase in funding for that. If you're looking for merchandise that has our logo on it, you can now buy it at Town Hall or at the Woodstock Farm and Craft Market. Some upcoming events this next couple of weeks is the New Brunswick Sport Fishing Association tournament, which is this weekend. And the kids tournament is on Sunday, 31st. And the awards presentation, I believe, is going to be barbecue at noon, and the awards presentation is at 1. And of course, if you haven't already got your tickets for the Sea Dogs preseason game versus the Moncton Wildcats, you can just go to our website, woodstocknd.ca, click the little link. CIL ran it through it today, help you purchase his tickets, and then you can either print them off or download them to your phone. The McCain Community Theater has a group coming in a couple weeks. They're called the Red Dirt Skinners. They have play some different types of music. They actually reached out and booked theater with us, so if you're looking for tickets for that, you can go to Eventbrite. And that's everything in a nutshell.
Okay,
questions?
Awesome. Any questions for Toby? I'm going to say thank you for all your extra work. I know the summer season's busy and it requires a lot of your extra time and overtime attending and helping prepare for events. So, yeah.
Sunscreen.
And lots of sunscreen, yeah.
So it was really good because we had some really good weather.
Yeah. So thank you for all the extra work through the summer. It's appreciated. Okay. Next on the list, we did, and everybody is, I hope, deferring to your email with all the CIC reports in it. So we did get on the next item on the list is Protective Services and Fire Department. Nice to see Chief McCollum at the back, but are we?
Yes. He's
Is
ready
Harold
to
gonna?
present.
All right, Harold's gonna present. That's awesome. Thank you, Harold.
Alan Brooks for the good evening. Just a few quick notes. Fire calls for August, up to August 20th, 264 calls compared to last year. Same day, 210. And that's increased since then. 54 calls ahead. Very busy week during Old Home Week, parade with all the apparatus. And, most people wonder why we don't have our apparatus all together in the parade. We were caught once, we never be caught again. Not having the truck. We just don't.
Yep.
Have them front, back, and middle, so we can break away and go. That's short, not, with them and Derby, borrow back, with Greg's permission, we'll pump one. And, not better to use pump one up there in the infield than it is, responding. And, we also had the afternoon session from Fire Smart. Then they come to town and check what this did. We set up in the Fire Smart, then for fire, whatnot. Just what you want, I asked, let me see if I know. Actually asked me why we had the water truck. Well, I knew the boys were in Heartland, but all taking washing the trucks for their parade up there. And the way the tavern fire was burned inside, 380 degrees. And, all of it was taken note, check the surroundings, we're thankful we didn't have to. Aggressively, fire up. Confined just to one building. And two of our members competed at a barbecue cook-off in Central Valley, Fireman Mustard. Sean Morgan and James Malone. First place. We moved up some well,
As fireman.
well, that's kind of everything for fire department.
Awesome. Okay.
I'd like to note that call volume, if
Yeah.
I will, Harold. That call volume is over one call a day.
Mhm.
So call volume is over one call a day. So that's a lot. And I think we need to recognize how often the volunteers, we pay the drivers, right? But we appreciate the drivers, but the volunteers, how often they promote. And I know you're at probably every one of these calls. So just want to note that.
Yeah. And we'll note the volunteers are paid stipend.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, thank you, Chief McClellan. We did, Kelly's away,
Yeah.
but we do have a report from her, so the CAO is
Yeah.
able, if you want to do a quick summary, maybe it would be good.
We'll talk about it. We are posting for 3 full-time aquatic instructor positions at the Air Motor Center. It's the first item there. We have issued the RFP for the master plan and feasibility study for Connell Park. Those have come back, and we'll begin analyzing them next week. We are still working on quotes from local fabricators for the fabrication of a shade structure at the after-school daycare. This installation is required to make sure we're still in compliance with operating standards. And I will talk about it a little later, but the roseway hedge along the edge of Connell Park, we've taken that into quote, we've awarded the quote. That is quite seriously overgrown. We are going to plot it down to 18 inches, give it a very, very thorough weeding, and then let it prune back up over time. And then we're going to do some more work around and thought around perhaps extending it a little further and making sure that crosswalk that comes out of that it's the safest we can possibly make it. So that will be a crosswalk project will be for next year, but it will be down to 18 inches, so we'll have good visibility. And the McKinley Rocket facility, there's a new sign there is promoted, and that's underway. Should be installed shortly. So those were I won't go through the upcomings, but those are the key events that are going on.
Anybody have any questions on recreation to date for CAO?
The only question I had, and I do apologize because I don't know if you know the answer to it or not, but I was just thinking about the Joe McGuire race, 180 participants. Do you have to pay to participate in that race?
I'm sorry.
Yes, there is a fee.
Okay.
Yeah. And there is a cap on the number, which they met it this year.
Yeah,
It did sell out, so.
yeah, I was just curious
Yeah.
from a council perspective, what that looks like financially.
Mhm.
What does it cost to run it? What are they charging? Because I know some races can be super cheap, some can be really expensive, and just curious.
Okay, yep.
I can have the numbers run on it.
But that's good to know that
Duly
that was the
noted.
cap too. I didn't have this in a while.
Okay, anyone else? Any questions on that? Okay, we'll move on to, I guess we've got Air Motor Center is separate there because Scott did his own report, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can touch on that too. We've been
Sure.
doing a lot of equipment work up there. We installed a new pool waste pump. The ice plant started on August 13th. We built the ice. We need August 23rd, and as we saw coming in, it was busy over the weekend, and it was busy today, and it will be busy until about May.
Mhm.
So we had started the meetings with the key stakeholders for here for the coming season. We met with Woodstock County Hockey. We're setting up the rest. I didn't check coming in if they finished it yet, but we're working for a pigeon fix at the entrance. And yes, we'll be looking at one on the grandstand as well. The new diving boards are here now, and we'll look to see if they're
Yeah.
finally installed, but if not today, they'll be, but I believe they're in. And we're beginning the interviews for the maintenance supervisor replacement position. So that's coming up soon. Coming up August 31st, we take the pool down. So we will be draining the pool. It'll be down for 3 weeks for the annual repair, maintenance, cleaning, tile repair, and regrouting, and there's just a lot of general work that has to be done every year. The Sea Dogs game we've talked about, so we think we're pretty much set up for that, for event planning, announcers, and all of that. And then the Slammers have their first game coming up September 20th, so there's a lot going on here.
It's gonna be a busy winter year.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Any questions on the Air Motor Center side?
Ice looks good. Looks neat.
Yeah,
The new
does look good.
logos and everything looks really sharp. Heard some comments. A few of the groups have been on the ice early on. They said the ice is good and fast.
Yeah. And the dressing rooms have been repainted, and the
yes.
entrance doors downstairs that are pretty rugged and ragged right now, they're being
Yep.
cleaned up, primed, and wrapped. And I've seen the photos for them. We'll have our logo and the Slammers and the South County Hockey and Skate Cup logos. Should look
Look
pretty
sharp, yeah.
So there's just a lot of little things happening
Mhm.
and some big things.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to planning and development. Andrew Garnett, director, is gonna deliver his report.
Good evening, everyone. A few items this evening. First, I would start off with the permits for 2025. You can see that this is up to the end of July 30th. The project value to date is a little over 14.5 million, which brings in about $74,000 in revenue. The attachment with that shows that it's pretty much the exact same as last year, but the permit number pretty much lies. It's the same. The dollar figure for last year is a little higher, but it's right there. So August started off actually very slow for permits, and started going, we were going to get any, and then the second half did really pick up. So it'll be on par as far as the amount of permits for last year in August. However, you definitely will see difference in the increase in property values because of the loan we had last year from the iron road, was quite large, so that's where you'll start to see what the gap, so. But it's a good year so far, it's been busy for sure. A mix of everything across the board in firms, so that's nice to see. Second item, planning advisory committee, they met on August 18th in this room. We had one item on the agenda, which was the terms and condition application and variance application for Harvest House Restock Inc., which was to permit a supportive facility at 130 Broadway Street and the increase the number of residents from 5 to 8 people. Both were variances were granted, and you'll see eventually another report come forward in regards to supportive facilities. Definitely changes across the stock and the province for these has started. St. John, for example, is really done a revamp. It happens, excuse me, happens everywhere. St. John, Moncton, you may see more, but it happens here in Woodstock as well too. It's just a number of less because we have less of the population. The need is still in the community, so that'll be something to bring forth in future. The funding applications are RDC and CHIP. They're ongoing. As I mentioned before, the RDC application has been submitted already, and they've begun their review of that application we did. The CHIP is a joint effort between myself and the developer, and the reason for that is because it's in regards to the housing and conversations with various benefits and affordability. That does directly tie with the developer, so the conversation has to happen with them as well too, so that the application is as true as possible. So that is ongoing. Housing hub, we haven't talked about the housing hub for a while. They had a few changes recently, but they are ready. They're currently working on a final presentation report for you folks and for the Manor Board in particular. So their goal would be to have that completed by the end of September so that we can review it, but then the presentations would happen perhaps in October, council meeting, and the board. We like to be the same day, or we see a person there and present the council later. We still have to pick that date, whatever works for us. And the last item, talk about tonight is just in regards to zoning bylaw updates. This year I've been busy with a number of different types of applications. We've seen some points that maybe should be looked at or changed. Definitions, support facilities, as I just mentioned in the pack, legal non-conforming properties. So we're going to do it as one package. That's, I guess, the initial plan. Bring it forth for see how we like to handle it. So it could be quite significant with some things. I know it's not that old, but there's been a lot of different things pop up this year that we're thinking where changes would be for the best. So, and I've just seen recently, actually as of today, from the Boston McGraw, a new zoning map. It's not new, it's the same map, but it's not in PDF, low quality PDF. This is the same ArcGIS that Ray and Billy have with it, and it's crystal clear. It's so nice to be able to see. Because on the old maps, some of the properties that have the street with the property, and I'm looking hard to see exactly what it was. So, and with it being GIS, you can click onto it. For example, yes, click it's an R1 property. I went to pack and have a conditional use for this and have it all there.
Oh, that's good.
It's it's going to be nice to be able to track this going forward. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions for Andrew? You're back in regular canceling. Okay, thank you. Okay, Greg's not here tonight, is he? Okay, but yeah, so Alan's gonna do the summary for Public Works.
So the Director of Public Works would like to announce he got a wonderful vacation in Newfoundland and caught some very large fish and enjoyed himself immensely. But in the meantime, while he was away, the new hot box from Saunders Equipment has been delivered. It's been used several times now. They describe it as working perfectly and it does much better patching jobs. and they're not wasting asphalt, and really, really looking forward to mastering this and then getting the recycling to go with it. The line painters have been here and finished their jobs, and all the directional arrows and lines are there. Most of the crosswalks have been painted, with the exception of a couple of streets that have yet to be paved, but there's one around the school that we're going to look at. So 4 of the 7 streets that were on the paving plan have been completed: Beacon, Wright Street, Townview, and St. John. Broadway is next, should be done by the end of the month. Charlotte Street will be done within a week or two. After that, but we still have to replace a culvert across the road first and send in the catch basin. So we're trying to make sure we do that work before we go and pave. The boat launch at the back of the community college, we're still working on finalizing the pricing and the best way to do that. And our plan is to bring it for September 12th to council for a recommendation on that. Are there any questions related to the public works?
I just wish Greg had been here because I really liked his description of the fact that it keeps it warm while he's eating his lunch. It's like normally when you go to lunch, it gets ruined and cold, but this not anymore.
Well, and then
I was like, I'm so happy
keep
for him.
it warm in the asphalt.
There you
Yeah.
go. Keep it right on
Yeah.
top.
You could tell the tone, he had
Oh,
the
yeah.
undertone of joy all the way through
He
that.
really did. He was very happy with it.
They like the
They
equipment.
do like it, and the
They have it
work.
parked very securely
Yeah.
where it's not wet and dirty.
Yeah.
And so I'm not allowed telling you where it's parked.
And so far, the patch and repair work they've been doing the last week or two is good. There's a significant difference in it. So, as was the plan, this will help moving forward through winter and summer, and no more cold patching, and that's going to make a tremendous difference and have those patches last a lot longer. So far so good.
The other question I had about Holton Street was, because I know that it was just a note, they're waiting on some engineering stuff, but is that because of the way the funding works and all that stuff, and they're adding in the curb and all those things? Or, I don't know enough about it to.
Andrew, you,
designated
yeah,
area.
yeah, for the designated highway. Are you able to speak to that for Julie at all?
We received email this afternoon that by the end of this week, we should have costing and the tender documents to look at. By the end of this week.
Thank you.
So we've contacted to an engineering company to help us work through all of that.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's a bigger.
I'm excited for all the paving.
Okay.
I'm excited for all the paving.
Yeah.
It's looking really good. They're doing a lot of good work.
Okay.
With the hot box too, I assume there's lots they're gonna be doing more as the weeks go by and whatnot. Just a follow up from, I think I've asked 3 times over a few months. Once we get the town streets settled in here, is there gonna be a possibility if roads in the inside areas, if we can't figure out what's going on with DTI, are we gonna be able to share that or look into that still?
We are, I'm waiting. I was contacted by Minister Chasson's office last week to look at, so we gave a few dates between each other and we're looking to confirm a meeting time. And that's, and a number of things are on the list to discuss. So we'll see how that conversation goes, but there definitely seem, and DTI seems on board with discussing it. So that's the path we want to take. If we can assist and take over small contracts and do them quicker and just as effective, then we might as well be doing that work. Same with some of the snow plowing contracts. We'll see where we get with that this year. But that they have promised a conversation, and yep, so possibly as early as next week. I will not hold my breath because there's been a lot going on with GMB in the last few weeks, and so they're all trying to play catch up here, I think, on regular business, considering all the dedication everybody was putting towards fire and still are right now. So hopefully we'll meet in the coming weeks, and as soon as I know, you will know, because I'm sure we'll have some staffing things to look at and some costings.
To be fair, DTI's done a pretty adequate job this summer. They've done a lot
Yeah,
of patching in the wards, like in my ward.
some,
It's been
yeah.
a little bit slow and it's been
Mm-hmm.
come and gone, but overall it hasn't been too bad. But there are a few areas that crop up every now and then, just for whatever due to wear and tear. With a quick fix, they sometimes can't always get there pretty small amount of time, whereas maybe we can, I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway, these are conversations we can.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
maybe,
we'll have-
or do you have the water?
I can speak to it.
Sure. We might as well share where we're at with the, if you recall, we talked about hiring a company to come in and do a little bit of a pilot project using LiDAR that takes a stretch of our roads and does an analysis on it. And that has been completed, and I think they're coming, is it next
We're
week?
trying to set up
Yeah.
time for next week, so they did about 11 kilometers, so we did a full run from Main Street, Oak Connell, out into DTI area, out to Red Ridge Road, did I get that right?
Yes?
So that we got a mix of where it transitions from ours to theirs, and so we can see. And then we did a couple of stretches in the downtown core on the upriver side, we did some on the downriver side, and then we took Lower Main out. So we have all of those results, and they're going to be presenting next week, and just show us some technologies, so give us a sample of what some of our stuff is like. Now, there was one street they couldn't do because we're in the middle of a water break, but they had to change
Yeah.
plans, so.
Yeah, but, so we'll see what that looks like after next week, and we'll bring that back to council as well to discuss and share. But purpose of that, obviously, is it takes and dissects the road and tells you exactly where all the, let's say it grades it. So it'll color code the road from green, which is good, to red, which is poor, and in between is yellow and orange, and it will basically tell you largely what is wrong in the poor sections and how much of your road is in poor condition and what it takes to fix it, so that hopefully we can use this in a little bit to encourage how we can work with DTI on some of this, because we do have roads in the outside wards in a few locations that are not in good shape and need some major repair, and roads in town that are in terrible shape. And we couldn't budget enough money year over year right now to try and catch up on paving. So again, I think we need to keep trying to push forward as best we can every year, budgeting as much as humanly possible. 2026, as we'll discuss later, is going to be an extraordinarily challenging budget year, but we can't slow down the road repair. What did we say? If we keep on pace what we did this year, we take
24 years to work through the town.
to work through the town, and that's just Ward 4.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of roads, and there's a lot that haven't been touched in 50 years, and some that are pushing 25 or over. So the time has come and gone to just simply put aside $100,000 a year. Every year it's $1 million a year now. So add a big zero or two. Yeah, Councilor.
The way the LiDAR system works, is it in one side of the road or does it capture?
Captures everything.
And then
Captures
just
everything.
Think of it like Google Maps on steroids.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we hope we'll be able to share some info, and we'll see where that takes some conversations, and whether we want to pursue anything bigger, we'll figure that out.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I think fair, good on Public Works. Ready to move on to utility? That's a big one.
Yeah.
And you're going to do the
Yeah.
report on that, right?
So, first thing I have to announce is that Bill Lee has tendered his resignation and will be done August 29th. He's accepting another opportunity elsewhere, so we're working a plan to how we continue with that group and what the next step is for the utility department. But we're fairly confident we have a good interim plan in place. We'll be presenting the longer-term plan shortly. And I just want to thank Billy. He wasn't here long, but he did some very, very good work for us. He brought a different skill set that we didn't have. So it was a different way to look at our equipment, and he's done some very nice things. So in his utility report, he does talk about well number 3, but I have a more detailed, more up-to-date report than that. But a couple of things I want to touch on here is the Mangasore filtration system. As I mentioned, we had commissioned the manufacturer Veolia to come in. And they came in, they did the report's back, it's being studied, and we've actually started implementing some of the stuff. We're ordering some of the, and a lot of the parts that we're ordering are really not that expensive. Ordering them, making sure we're getting the right specs, getting instrumentation installed that maybe wasn't installed correctly or wasn't working correctly, getting everything calibrated. We are hiring a local third-party expert that happens to know the stuff very well to come in and really take that report and go through with a fine-tooth comb, and go through the whole thing, because we've been getting some fluctuations on manganese, and we're really doing the work there. Thank you. We call it magnesium. And we're also ordering test kits that allow us to test on site, not as much accuracy as RPC, and we will still continue the outside testing, but this gives us quick response rather than 10-day response. So we're really doing everything we can on that side to understand, get control, and keep control of that system. And related to that is the water flushing of the hydrants. We've not been able to do it this summer. It's been so dry, we couldn't afford the water. But now that we're getting a little bit of relief on that, we are going to start flushing, and probably start next week or the week after, and go through for the next 5 or 6 weeks, instead of trying to do it all in a concentrated 2-week period, which uses a lot of water. We're going to stay with that out, but we are going to get that flushing going, and that will help relieve some of the magnesium, some of the manganese, and some of the other stuff that's in the system today. Aside from that, we've been averaging about a water break a week. We had another one today. And the crews are getting very efficient at responding and
Yeah, they're getting
tackling
better.
and
Better.
understanding what's really going on, and then making sure they're fixing it right and putting it back together. So yeah, we had another one on Elm Street today. So there's a lot of work happening there, but the team is really well equipped, and they're doing a good job on it. I feel very, very comfortable with where we're doing. So those were the highlights of Bill's report. We're going to miss him. I'm sorry he couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any questions on the utility side?
Remembering that we're going to tackle a bigger update on well number 3 in regular
Yeah.
council. Okay. Hearing none, that takes us to the end. So Christine, we will conclude the council and committee meeting.